Welcome to Ancient Tech Decoded. In this special episode, we are decoding the impossible moment. An AI analyzing 2,000-year-old Herculaneum scrolls accidentally discovered Forbidden's Blue Great Pyramid. Imagine looking not up at the stars, but down into the atomic structure of charcoal. Buried by a volcano 2 millennia ago, there is a secret trapped in the carbonized remains of a Roman library, a data packet that modern science is only just learning how to decrypt. Yet the ancients hid it right under our noses. Have you ever wondered if impossible is just a word we use for data we haven't built the right lens to see yet? So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you find the journey we are about to take to be a worthy one. Let me know in the comments. Where in the world are you receiving this signal from? Now, let's travel back in time and deconstruct the story of a lost world. You're standing in the shadow of Mount Vesuvius. In the year 79 AD, in an instant, a pyroclastic surge buries the magnificent villa of papyri. In Herculaneum, flash heating hundreds of priceless scrolls into fragile lumps of pure carbon. For nearly 2,000 years, they are useless. To attempt to open them is to turn history into dust. They are black ink on black paper, illegible to the human eye. But you are not looking with human eyes. You are looking through the lens of a synchrotron particle accelerator, blasting these ancient lumps with high-energy X-rays to create a 3D digital volume. You are watching a neural network, an artificial intelligence trained to detect the infinitely subtle difference in density between carbonized papyrus and carbonized ink scan through terabytes of noisy data. The AI is looking for Greek letters, hunting for lost philosophy. Suddenly, the algorithm flags an anomaly. You watch the monitor as the eye isolates a layer deep within the scroll's core. It isn't finding the organic curves of handwritten text. It is finding perfect, rigid linearity. The neural network has stumbled upon a hidden layer of data that shouldn't exist in a Roman library. It isn't reading words. It is seeing geometry. You watch as the digital reconstruction software struggles to interpret what the AI has found. The screen flickers with a dense point cloud of data, slowly organizing the chaos of the burned papyrus into coherent imagery. This is virtual unwrapping in real time, the process of peeling back layers of carbonized substrate that are thinner than a human hair without ever physically touching the fragile artifact. The computer is seeing through the burns, reconstructing the original ink based on atomic density variations that no human eye could ever perceive. As the image resolves, the confusion in the control room turns to stunned silence. The lines that emerge are not the organic curves of Greek philosophy or wrong law. They are sharp, precise vectors forming a complex technical diagram. You are looking at an architectural blueprint, rendered with the mathematical precision of a modern CAD file, hidden beneath layers of mundane text, like a secret message written in invisible ink, designed to survive the apocalypse. But the true shock comes when the AI pulls back to display the entire composition.
Match found.
The diagram is not for a Roman villa or a temple to Jupiter. It is the unmistakable silhouette of monolithic engineering that predates the Roman Empire by millennia. You are staring at a perfect cross-section of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The AI has reconstructed not just the exterior dimensions, but the complex internal network of the King's Chamber, the Queen's Chamber, and the mysterious Grand Gallery, all rendered with terrifying accuracy. The implication hits you like a physical blow. This scroll was sealed by the ashes of Vesuvius in 79 AD. time when the pyramids were already ancient legends. Yet, it contains a flawless engineering schematic for a structure built around 2560 B. See? Over 2,500 years prior to the scroll's existence. This is a chronological paradox trapped in carbon. History tells us the Romans viewed the pyramids as mysterious tombs built by a long-dead civilization, just as we do. So why does a Roman philosopher's library contain what appear to be the original construction documents? You realize you are not looking at a mere historical record. You are looking at impossible knowledge that has survived a double erasure, first by time and then by fire. Now, move closer to the structure in your mind's eye. Walk up to the base of the Great Pyramid. And place your hand against the cool, weathered surface. If you listen to mainstream historians, you are touching the result of 20 years of brutal manual labor, achieved with soft copper chisels. And stone pounders. They want you to believe that primitive tools carved 2.3 million blocks of stone, with a precision that rivals modern optical equipment. But as you run your fingers over the joints, you feel the cracks in that story. You are looking at the non-human paradox. Consider the precision here. The original casing stones, the few that remain, are fitted together with such extreme accuracy that you cannot slide a razor blade or even a human hair between them. In the world of engineering, we call this tolerance. To achieve this level of flatness over an area of acres requires laser-guided machinery. If you try to do this by hand, you get imperfections. You get tool marks. Yet, when you scan these surfaces with laser profilometers, you don't see the erratic scratch marks of a chisel. You see a surface that is mathematically flat. This leads us to a terrifying conclusion. That many material scientists are beginning to whisper about these stones were not cut. They were poured. Look at the microscopic evidence. When geologists analyze natural limestone, the fossil shells inside lie flat, layered by millions of years of sediment. But when you look at samples from the pyramid blocks, under a high-powered microscope, you see something chaotic. The internal structure is jumbled. Even more disturbing, you find tiny air bubbles trapped inside the rock. Nature does not put air bubbles into sedimentary rock, but do you know what does? Concrete. You are realizing that we might be looking at an ancient form of advanced geological technology. The builders didn't quarry these massive stones and drag them hundreds of miles. They brought the ingredients and cast the blocks in place. Like pouring concrete into a mold. This explains the impossible fit. It explains the lack of tool marks. It implies a mastery of chemistry and molecular engineering that suggests the builders were not using muscle. They were using a form of 3D printing or molecular casting on a massive scale. And here's the silence that screams the loudest. Where is the debris? To cut this much stone, you would generate mountains of broken chips and worn out tools. Archaeologists have searched for centuries, but that mountain of waste is missing. The site is clinically sterile. This wasn't a construction site, full of sweating slaves. This was a clean room assembly of a technological housing. If the stones are synthetic, then the structure isn't just a pile of rocks. It is a seamless, continuous shell designed to insulate something inside. And as we are about to find out, the interior was never meant for a human body. It was built for a frequency. We are looking at a simulation running on the main screen, a physics model built directly. From the heretical data found in the Herculaneum scroll, The diagram didn't just show walls and chambers. It showed a mechanism. As the AI decodes the faint carbon-on-carbon annotations surrounding the blueprint, a startling realization emerges. This was not a tomb. It was a machine. The blueprint details a complex internal hydraulic system that has been misunderstood for centuries. You watch as the simulation fills the subterranean chamber of the Great Pyramid with water from the nearby Nile. The blueprint describes a series of sluice gates and resonance chambers that are not part of any known funerary practice. The AI translates a fragment of text next to the Queen's chamber shaft, the harmonic lift. This is lost technology in its purest form. The diagram suggests that the pyramid was designed to utilize water pressure and acoustic resonance to create a lift system for the massive granite blocks. You are looking at a schematic for an ancient hydraulic ram pump on a pharaonic scale. A device that uses the kinetic energy of flowing water to pull a portion of that water to a higher elevation. Or, in this case, to create enormous upward pressure. But it gets stranger. The annotations describe using specific sound frequencies generated by rushing air and water in the shafts to create acoustic levitation effects, reducing the effective weight of the stones. You are reading about a construction method that sounds like science fiction, yet it is laid out with the pragmatic detail of an engineering manual from 2,000 years ago. This scroll is suggesting that the ancients had mastered a form of sonic and hydraulic engineering that our modern civilization is only just beginning to explore theoretically. The implication is staggering.
The equations match the simulation perfectly.
It means the pyramids were built not with brute force and endless slave labor, but with a sophisticated understanding of physics, fluid dynamics, and acoustics. It means we have been looking at the greatest structure on Earth for millennia and completely missing its true function. Until a volcano and AI, I conspired to show us the operating manual we lost. You stand in the silent digital reconstruction of the Villa of the Papyri, surrounded by the ghostly shelves. Of a library that burned in 79 AD, the question now is not what the AI found, but why it was here. Why would a wealthy Roman statesman, perhaps Julius Caesar's father-in-law, possess a secret engineering manual? For the Great Pyramid of Giza, this scroll is a massive, glaring anomaly in the historical record. Roman philosophy was obsessed with ethics, logic, and rhetoric. Their engineering was brilliant, but it was practical. Aqueducts, roads, siege engines. It was nothing like the esoteric acoustic and hydraulic technology described in the pyramid blueprint. The Romans admired Egypt as a land of ancient wisdom, but they viewed its monuments as relics of an almost mythological era. They didn't try to replicate them. Yet, here's the evidence that the highest echelon of Roman society had access to the source code of Egyptian engineering. This suggests a history far more complex than the linear timeline we are taught. It points to the existence of a universal archive, a body of knowledge that was secretly transmitted. From civilization to civilization, from Egypt to Greece, and from Greece to Rome, hidden within the libraries of the elite. You realize you're looking at evidence of a secret intellectual lineage. A breakaway civilization of knowledge keepers existing within the ancient world. These individuals didn't just study the past, they guarded its most dangerous secrets. The scroll wasn't just a book in a library. It was a piece of forbidden technology, perhaps stolen or gifted, and then hidden away among mundane philosophy texts. only to be sealed by a volcanic eruption that inadvertently preserved it for a future that could finally understand it. The Romans didn't build the pyramids, but this anomaly proves they held the keys to how it was done. A secret they took to their carbonized graves. You are watching the cursor blink on the main console as the AI shifts its focus. From the geometry of the pyramid to the density of the text surrounding it. The blueprint was the how, but now the neural network is decoding the who. The translation software is running in overdrive, cross-referencing ancient Greek dialects. With obscure technical lexicons piecing together a narrative that has not been read for 2,000 years. The words appearing on your screen are not the musings of a Roman philosopher. They are a citation. The author of the scroll is explicitly stating that this knowledge did not originate with the Egyptians. The text refers to a group called the First Architects, described as those who descended before the silence. You realize with a chill that the Roman scribe was transcribing a history that was already considered. Ancient mythology in its own time. He describes the Great Pyramid not as a tomb constructed by Khufu, but as a legacy structure inherited by the pharaohs
of the pharaoh
found standing in the sand.
We build again what once was broken.
Repaired and repurposed, but never fully understood by its custodians. The AI highlights this specific passage that creates a cascade of questions. The text describes the teachers who brought these blueprints. It speaks of them handing down the measures of the earth and harmony of stone to humanity just before a great cataclysm. A global deluge that wiped their civilization from the map. You are reading a first-hand account of the transfer of technology from a lost, advanced epic to the survivors of the Stone Age. It suggests that the Sphinx and the pyramids are not the beginning of our history, but the tombstone of theirs. This revelation reframes everything. The scroll implies that the technological explosion of ancient Egypt, the sudden appearance of perfect stonemasonry, mathematics, and astronomy without any clear evolutionary precedents, was not a miracle of development. It was a cargo cult. They were mimicking the technology of their teachers, preserving the blueprints like holy scripture without possessing the tools to replicate the engine.
The sacred plan rests here.
You are looking at the missing link in human history, the written confirmation that we are a species with amnesia, living in the ruins of a greatness we have forgotten we once possessed.
But humanity persists, walking forward beneath the watchful eyes of...
The AI has just recovered the receipt for civilization, and the signature at the bottom does not belong to us. You are standing back in the modern laboratory, looking at the progress bar on the main server. The scan of the pyramid blueprint is complete, but the AI is already moving on to the next scroll. In the digital queue, you realize with a sudden vertigo-inducing clarity that this discovery is just the first sentence of a library that has been waiting 2,000 years to speak. The impossible blueprint was just one file in a vast encrypted hard drive that Vesuvius inadvertently backed up for us. The Herculaneum scrolls are not just a collection of Roman poetry and Stoic philosophy. You are looking at the remnants of a universal archive. This library likely held the sum total of human scientific knowledge up to the 1st century, a deed knowledge that was thought to be lost forever in the fires of Alexandria. But here, encased in volcanic mud, the data survived. The paradox is blinding. The catastrophe that destroyed the town was the only thing that The heat
The
didn't
heat wave
erase the
hits the
history.
fibers.
It
They turn
fossilized
black
it,
and
turning
rigid,
organic papyrus
locking
into
their
a
structure in
durable
place
carbon
forever.
lattice. Waiting for a civilization advanced enough to build a synchrotron to reach. You watch the neural network map connections between thousands of unread fragments. It is building a web of lost technology. If one scroll contains the engineering schematics for the Great Pyramid, what lies in the others? There are hundreds of scrolls still tightly woven, looking like lumps of charcoal, yet to be virtually unwrapped. You might be staring at the lost star maps of the Babylonians, the medical treatises of Imhotep, or the navigational charts of the teachers who sailed the world before the ice melted. The realization redefines the role of artificial intelligence in archaeology. We are not just using computers to catalog pottery shards. We are using them to recover the memory of our species. We are entering a new renaissance, not by discovering new worlds, but by decrypting the old one. The AI is the bridge across the silence. It is retrieving the data packets dropped by the ancients, reconstructing a lineage of science and engineering that proves we are not the first to touch the sky. You realize that the greatest library on Earth isn't in London or Washington. It is a pile of black ash in a museum in Naples, and we have finally found the password. The screen fades to black, leaving only the afterimage of the glowing digital blueprint hovering in your mind. The hum of the servers fades into a profound silence. We are left alone with a humbling truth. The past is not dead. It is merely encrypted. We often look at the ancients as primitive, stacking stones in the mud, waiting for us to invent the microchip. But the Herculaneum scrolls force us to confront the possibility that we are the ones playing catch-up. They preserve the blueprints of a machine we still cannot replicate using a transmission method writing on paper that outlasted the civilizations that built it. The volcano froze time, and the AI melted it. The question is no longer, what did they know? The question is, as the rest of the library opens up, are we ready for the answers that have been waiting in the dark for 2,000 years?